Camaro by Chevy. I was here a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, and this car was here, and my battery was dead, and I felt like a fool. This year I've got 2 cameras, 7 batteries, a power inverter, battery charger, and 2 extra chips. You want to see what this Camaro by Chevrolet really is? Z28. 302 DZ block, Norwood assembly. It's a 68 Camaro Z28. And the fellow told me the story 2 years ago. His neighbor had it, he didn't want to buy it, or he bought it and brought it home and his mother gave him hell. It's got a Holley double pumper on a 302, which is a 350 bore with a 283 crank, equals 302 cubic inches, good for racing. It's homologated. It's got a Winters casting intake manifold, twisted water inlet neck, air pump, big pulley. Chevrolet meant business when they put the 302 in the Z28 back in '67. This is a 68. Side marker lamps, 15-inch wheels, deluxe interior, 4-speed, sawtooth gauges, AM radio, clock tachometer, 6,000 redline, Astro ventilation, and it's got a beautiful paint. What color is this? Le Mans blue, and the paint job was done in 1982, 30 years ago, in your driveway, if I recall.
Yeah, the album is in the trunk.
That is crazy, and the paint job looks better than anything that I've seen lately, and they're new paint jobs. Wide tread GT Goodyear E7050s. What happened? You brought this home and your mother gave you hell?
Yes, she did. Well, no.
Forget the story.
I didn't bring it home. I was paying it off. It was from my cousin, and he would show up at my house every Friday for a payment.
He was smart.
He wasn't going to give me the car until he had the money to buy the car that he wanted.
Right, which was a big block, I think.
Big block.
I remember that.
2768 SS. And it had 390 horse, 427 in it with a tarantula intake on it, turbo 400, and 50-15s on the rear. And it was
sure.
what he wanted.
On what, slotted aluminum wheels, probably.
Yeah.
Jacked up.
No, they were actually 8-inch Corvette rally wheels with 14-inch rally wheels
in the front. Got to have that rake. And he had this piece of junk Z28. And how did he convince you to buy it?
We went out for a ride. He was selling the car. He had somebody interested in buying it. It was in the penny saver.
Yeah.
And this guy told him he was going to come, very interested in the car, and he was going to come buy it. And so he says, let's take it out for the last burnouts. Let's go beat on it a little bit. So
it's 410 gears.
410 gears.
Oh my.
M22.
Rock crusher, close ratio.
And he took it out to the parking lot next to his IBM parking lot next to his house, and he did a burnout that filled the car with so much smoke we had to get out. We were choking, we were laughing. So the asshole that buys this car,
what a piece of junk.
never showed up.
He was probably watching from the window saying, I'm not going to buy that piece of junk, you're the sucker.
No, it was, and we waited for the guy, he never showed up. And then like the next day, he's like, why don't you buy the car? You like the car? I don't need that car. What am I going to do with it?
What were you driving at the time?
It was almost brand new. It was a 78 Chevy van. It was a Beauville, it was deluxe, 2-tone. I had Anson. I still have that. Well, no, I was 86. My brother rolled that one. It was a 2-tone tan and white. It was like an antique white and buckskin. It was beautiful. I love that van. It was a 6-cylinder 3-speed.
3 on the tree, knee knocker. So you bought this. You paid it off. Mom found out about it eventually.
Yeah, she found out because she questioned why he was coming every week, every Friday, and looking for me. And finally, she sat him down and said, Chris, what
are you up to? What's going on?
What's going on? And then he broke down and fessed up. And I got home and caught all sorts of crap for it. My mother she was like, your father's going to kill you. Where are you going to put it? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, I'll keep it in the backyard. Oh no! It was like it was a nightmare, and it was a big screaming fit. And
yeah, let it out, let it out.
And I figured it was easier to get forgiveness than it was to get permission, so that's why I did it that way.
Women are like smoke. It's just something's got to get out. Women are like wires, just smoke trying to get out.
It wasn't my mother as bad as my father. He was really...
No, but didn't he say to you, okay, son, let's get down to getting this thing all fixed up and make it look good?
Well, no. He's like, you're an idiot. Give it back. Get your money back. I said, I can't. And then,
you didn't want to.
I couldn't. He was already into how is he going to get the money.
He's already given the money to the guy with the big block
I've
and
already
plow.
committed to it. There was no way I was getting out of it. You know, I was like, I put it in the garage. I started taking it apart and cleaning things up, and I really didn't know what the hell I was doing, but I was going to make it look good as best I could. And then he came down. I guess he broke down, and next thing I know, he had sandpaper. He was wet sanding when I was at school and at work. I wasn't even at school yet. I was out of school, just graduating. And I came home from, and he had wet sanded the car because it had a paint job on it that it looked like it was put on with a roller.
He saw the potential.
Next thing I know, there was brand new fenders and there was door skins. We never put the door skins on. I still have them. And next thing I know, we were like working on the car, and it was like a big project, and it was like, you're gonna make this an original car, because I wanted to make a hot rod out of it.
Sure.
I had big
and
dreams.
50s.
I had big dreams. It was going to be a small block 454, because Hot Rod Magazine did an article on making a small block Chevy 454.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah, that would be great. You know, I had no idea how to do it, but they did it.
They did. It was simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, just write the check.
I had no money. I had no knowledge. And my father's like, no, this is Z28. You got to keep this thing as Z28.
Can you fire this?
It'll be valuable as an original. It's a rare car as it was.
Would you mind firing it up? You hear that solid lifter 302? Combination 283 and 350? Or was it the 327 block with the 283 crank?
That's the bore of a 327. So actually, the casting is a 327 block, and the stroke is a 283.
Right.
But the crank is a 302 crank. It's a steel crank.
Especially
it's a big journal. It's not 283 is a small journal.
Right,
crank.
right. Low performance.
It's really its own motor, but the design of it, they use the design, the size of the parts.
Solid lifter. Crank this baby up. Running smooth and sweet. Ollie double pumping. Pardon me?
40 for the original.
He's had the car 30 years. Bought it from his cousin for $1,000.
$2,300.
Oh, $2,300. Call me a liar. 6,000 RPM red line.
I've seen that.
Looks good for 302. Usually they're all over the place.
How many miles has it got? 60? 40,000 miles.
40,413. Drove it all the way down to Carlisle and back, same day. Twice I've done that. Took a celebrity pic in last year with it. This year I'm taking it.
Beautiful. Love it. Let's hear that 302. Rattle, rattle, clang, clang. Rev it up a little bit. Amazing. 40,000 miles.
They weren't easy 40 though.
I know about that IBM parking lot. I heard it right. Yeah, clatter, clatter, rattle, rattle. Camel hump head, right there. 202 intake valve. Heavy duty breathing. You hear that air injection reactor pump buzzing away. What a beauty. I tried to get a video 2 years ago, my battery was dead, so it took 2 years. SSRS Z28.
Oh, no SS.
Oh, it's not. It's a Z28 RS. Call me a liar. I'm getting tired. It's been a long day. Z28 Rally Sport.
Right.
SS would have been a 350 or a 396.
Right.
Yeah, not an SS, of course. It's a Z28. This is Z27 right here, that option.
Right. This is part of the Rally Sport package.
Yep. 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 Beautiful. Thank you. Glad I caught up with you. Z28, 40,000 mile car. Owned for 30 years. Luckily you bought it, huh? Take care. We're going to take a little tour through memory lane. Back in the photo album, I have one of these, but I don't have a 68 Z28 Rally Sport. This car had a vinyl top, and I thought you were going to take that picture out of the houndstooth interior.
I gotta take that out. That's not. It was never with the car. It was. I was going to put it in. I got a complete houndstooth and fold down rear seat.
Actually, take the album, put it on that side because the sun is reflecting really badly. People are going to watch this video all over the world. Ireland, Germany, Sweden, Switzerland, Mexico.
There's a wedding picture from 1972. Second owner of the car.
Some super stock Formula Ones jacked up. So he brought it home and Dad turned around and said, we're going to fix this car up and make it look good. Get rid of this crappy paint job. Braze in a bit of tin where it's rusty. Gas braze it.
Sandblast.
Sandblast. Bring it right down. Look at that. Concentrating. You were a good photographer. You knew what to get a picture of. Dad working hard. There's the Beauville van.
Yeah.
Car was in a million pieces. Sandblast, gas weld,
painting outside.
Yeah, painting it right at the top of the driveway.
Waited for the optimum weather to do it. He watched his barometer and the weather.
That's you?
Yes, me.
That's hang on a second. Hang on a second. It's hard to believe, huh? All these years later. That was in 1982.
I look more like my dad now than he looks better than me. That's it, 1982.
Yeah. Get this car looking good. Weld it, a little bit of Bondo, a little bit of filler, sandblast those inner fenders. Now what happened to the valve cover? Shouldn't that have had
this motor? We put the motor in there because the other motor we were rebuilding so we could move the car around. So actually the motor had spun bearing. They put this motor, Freddie put this motor in with his father, the second owner of the car, and that's what they were driving around with.
But you still got the original DZ block back.
Well, it's MO.
Oh, it's MO? Oh, because it's a 68. That's right. Sorry.
Yes, no, it's all rebuilt back in the car.
Rust-proofing it with a Graco air pump. Gonna keep it outside. Gotta stop it from rusting a second time.
Yeah, it never did end up outside though.
Once it was done.
Yeah. No.
Hand wet sanded. Look how good that car looks. Same paint job 30 years later. Here it is.
It's patinating though. It's starting to show.
Hand striped.
Yeah, it's
laid out by hand, just from pictures and measurements and a bit of what you found underneath the old paint job.
Yep.
There it is, the MO block. Steel big journal crank. We all looked young at one time.
Yeah.
There it is. New carpeting.
My brother, he's 45 years old now.
Unbelievable.
That's it.
Just things happen, huh? The way things happen.
And this is
hot attraction.
This is my son who's now 22 years old. This is my son now is 18 years old, gonna be 19 next month. And she's 17. That's my niece.
Odd that it didn't have the wood wheel. A lot of them had the wood wheel, the fake wood wheel. The way it was ordered. Yeah, beautiful. It's right here. Let me see that picture again, the wedding picture. Now you said, was that the fellow that died in Vietnam?
No. He bought it from the parents of the
fellow who had bought it new.
Excuse me?
Armangia.
I'm like actually like the fourth owner of the car.
But we're just going through the history of this thing. He knows the car since it was brand new.
This car almost ran me over when I was 12 years old. He was coming down the road and I cut out in front of him with my mini bike and he almost ran me over and I started up, I was coasting the thing. My father told me never drive it on the road, but he never said I couldn't coast it. I was coasting down a big hill to get to my house to get home. And I came out into an intersection and I just cut in front of him and he threw it sideways, locked it up, and then all of a sudden I started my mini bike, I took off like I'm gonna beat this car. And he came flying up next to me, cut me off, and got out of the car and pushed me off my mini bike, screamed at me. And I was the paper boy for his wife's parents. And every time I see the car out in front of the house, they wouldn't get a paper because I wouldn't deliver. I was afraid of them. That's the undercarriage of the car.
Yeah. He painted this thing with his dad in the driveway. He's got pictures 30 years ago, right at the top of the driveway. Amazing.
I'm working on mine right now, but Mine's just an RS. It's not a Z28.
All right, great story. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Wow, what a story. What a story. I can't get over it. Le Mans Blue. What a story. There's the car right there. 40,000 miles. All right, I'm taking a break.